Gentleman in the back, right. Where are you from? Illinois. Where? Wisconsin. Fantastic. I've had a lot of hotel rooms there. There and everywhere else in the United States and abroad. So that's it for this table, yes? What about you guys? Where are you from? North Carolina. I love the yes ma'ams. Fantastic. In the back. Where? San Antonio, Texas. Fantastic. Right down the street. Where are you from? San Antonio, Texas. I remember you from last night. And in the very back on the left-hand side, where are you guys from? New Orleans. Right on. New Orleans. All right, you guys. Well, let's get rocking and rolling since last session of the day. You guys ready to get out of here and go home? Fantastic. All right. I'm Jennifer Bagley, CEO of CI Web Group. We're the preferred digital marketing company and have been working with HVAC now for 12 years. So I will tell you, my daddy is proud and feels a little awkward on how much I know about HVAC. Don't think he expected that. As with probably every woman in this industry, yes? I have Michael Hicklin in the back. He's our Chief Operating Officer, Head of Operations and Logistics. Keeps me on time and stable. Scott Smith in the back, Head of our Video Production Department. Kathy Marshall over there walking in right now, Head of Customer Service and Experience. And then we also have a couple others that are at the table right now. Jamal is Head of, he's on our Web Project Management team. And then Kimberly Marshall, who never gets to come. She happens to live in Texas, so she drove 4 hours to come out here to be able to attend. And she's over our local listings department. So if you have an opportunity, definitely stop by and say hi. Okay, you guys should have a couple pieces of paper in front of you. One of them is the 12-step roadmap. A lot of stuff on it, right? Just turn it over and leave it on the table for step 1, should be facing up. In addition to that, you should have a dealer form. You guys have that? Anybody not have one? Dealer form to fill out. It'll have your company name, website, perfect. I see you guys have it. If you don't have it, let us know so we can get you one. Those will be important in a little while, so if you have time, fill those out. This session, you guys, is really about growing the business. So I'm curious, for you guys, what's your goals? How many of you want to grow? That's important to you right now. Okay? What about you don't want to grow, but you want to improve profit margins? Okay? How about you need to prepare the business for the next gen? I call them next gen, next generation. You need hand-me-down. Ah, fantastic. Okay, very important. And how many of you want to build to sell, sail off into the sunset, and have some umbrellas in your drinks and sand in your toes? All right. Fantastic. Each one of these takes a different strategy. We're going to walk through these today, and you guys are going to walk out with clarity, but right now I want you to walk out with cash.
Yes, we just want to say thank you for coming into our last presentation. So we're going to pick out a ticket here.
You have your raffle tickets? Grab them. All right. 7, 6, 8, 9, 8, 2. Woohoo! One step closer to sunsets. Cash is always good. Cash is king. I love it. Thank you, Miss Lisa. All right, you guys. So we have a lot to cover in a really short amount of time, so I'll apologize in advance if it feels slightly like a fire hose. My son always tells me, Jen, Mom, I'll listen a little faster so you don't have to slow down, so I'll catch up. I'm going to try not to do that. So if you need me to slow, chill, just do this, say put on the brakes for a minute, I have a question or I need to get clarity on something. Because that's what this is geared towards. My business coach tells me constantly, Jen, if you don't have clarity, you can't focus. You don't focus, you won't execute. You don't execute, you won't win. As entrepreneurs, we're slightly ADD, a little scattered. excitable, moved by shiny objects, the next pitch, glossy thing. And you guys are in an interesting position because as an entrepreneur, how many of you believe you're an entrepreneur? Yes. Why did you become an entrepreneur? Why did you take that leap? You wanted more what? 3 things. Freedom, perfect. Say it loud and proud. What'd you want? Money, great. Next. What is it? Be your own boss. How about this? Would you be in agreement with freedom, time, and money? Yes? It's the entrepreneur's dream. How many of you feel like you have it? Okay. I try and not let that go away, not let that dissipate. I try and keep that right there so I know that's the ultimate goal. I want the same thing, time, money, and freedom. That requires us to make decisions that get us closer to that goal day after day after day after day. Unfortunately, a lot of times because of lack of experience, just bad decisions, not asking enough questions, testing trials and tribulations, we tend to make decisions that actually keep us from hitting that goal or pull us farther from it instead of bring us closer to it. And this piece of the business is one of those. Marketing is as simple as this. You guys need people to be able to reach you so you can sell your products and services. Fair? I need my phone to ring. That's as simple as this becomes, right? Everything else I know and do and have doesn't matter without that one singular thing. If no one calls me, nothing else matters. Fair? All right. So let's pause for a second and get some clarity around just that piece, getting that phone call. You guys take your business owner hats off, put them aside because sometimes they're bad. And just go back to dad, mom, husband, wife, homeowner. When you need something, a product, a service, a company, something, what do you do? What's your natural next step? You need something right now. What do you do? How do you find it? Wait, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters? Just kidding. You go to the internet. Fantastic. Google. What do you do? In the back. Phone. And you do what? Google it. What do you do? Right next to him. Okay? That means you already found him. What do you do if you need to find him? What do you do? Okay, and she goes to Amazon Prime. What do you do? All right, and I already know what your wife does. This table, what do you do? Google it. What do you do? Google it. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Okay, and she Googles it. Here's the thing. This is real. As a speaker, I get to ask every audience around the nation and abroad, how do you buy? How do you shop? What do you do? And I've been asking for 15 years. I have 15 years of history of recordings, videotapes, watching the progression, watching it change. There were periods of time, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and so forth, where that wasn't 99.9% of the audience's response. I can even go back 2 years ago. 2 years ago, in my audience, it would be 1% of the audience that would say something other than Google, typically ask for a referral. But when I ask them, when you go to Google and you find a product, a service, a business, a company, what do you do next? What do you guys do? You go to their website. Perfect. What else? You look up their reviews. In today's environment, the process is so subconscious, you don't think about what you do, but the reality is the majority of you in this room and everybody I talk to, and every piece of data we have shows when somebody needs something, they go online, they go to Google, they do a search. They go to their website, they're either immediately turned off and run and find the next result, or they go Google the company name with the word reviews, and based on what they find, positive reviews, I'm in. We continue to progress down that path. No reviews, negative reviews, I'm out. I move on to the next result. Every single audience says the same thing. I would rather listen to a group of soccer moms tell me how they buy than an advertising company all day. All day. because that's what matters. What matters is how consumers move, how consumers change, how they use these little devices, how long they're on them, what they do, how they use them, whether it's social media, your website, or your reviews on the internet. All of those things influence, A, are you an option, and B, are you the option? We have to meet people where they are. The challenge is we put our business owner hats on, and all of a sudden we start doing these things that are totally out of context. You would never normally do them if you weren't looking to try and figure out how to market your business, such as you go to your mailbox. Where do you go? After you grab the mail, where's the first stop? Garbage can. We get a business hat on, all of a sudden we start looking at flyers and brochures and pamphlets to start seeing how other people are advertising their business. Knowing darn well we never looked at it before. We start paying attention to the billboard on the street because our competitor's on it, knowing darn well we would have never paid attention to it before. It's this funny little thing in our head called a reticular activator that turns it on because you're in the business and you happen to be wanting to market your business, so all of a sudden you start paying attention to things you never would have before. When you guys go to Google and you do a search, how many of you actually click on the ads at the top? Raise your hand and look around. How many of you have invested in pay-per-click? We'll leave that alone. The very thing you don't do as a consumer, I see people invest in every single day. And it's a problem, right? That doesn't make sense to me. It's an oxymoron. Okay, so we need to boil this down to an easy marketing plan that actually accomplishes what people want to accomplish without overcomplicating it with all this other garbage that people don't respond to. Gentleman in the back, very back, sunglasses. Can I ask how old you are? 24, fantastic. Are you on Facebook? Fantastic. Are teenagers on Facebook? You think? Oh, I was curious if you said. Anybody have teenagers? Are your kids on Facebook? Why? What's Facebook for? It's for old people. Congratulations, Mr. 24. You're now considered old. You're one of us. Welcome to the club. We're old. And if you're on Yahoo, you're dead. Okay. So, all right. I totally have to remember I'm recording. So you guys, what this is about is essentially helping you figure out and stay in the frame of logic, reality. I want you guys to be able to build a business using blocks that are permanent, that produce compounding interest impacts on your business, not simple. You guys know the difference between simple interest and compounding interest, right? Compounding interest is something permanent that grows. The dollar you spend today is worth more tomorrow, and it's worth more the next day, and it's worth more after that. Let me ask you this. If you invest in a television commercial, is that compounding interest or simple interest? What is it? Simple. Why? Because when you stop spending, it's gone and you have nothing. If you invest in a mailer, simple or compounding? Simple. Flyer, newspaper, radio, billboard, pay-per-click. Simple. All of these things you're burning and churning cash. You're spending money, getting on your knees, praying, please give my money back. It's like going to the slot machine, seeing the lady with a cigarette this long, sticking quarters in. And the bell goes off. Right? Sinead O'Connor, okay? We have to focus on investments that give permanent impact on our business, compounding interest impacts on our business, that they grow over time. If I create a YouTube video, I drop it on YouTube, simple or compounding? Compounding, why? It's permanent and it grows in value and views over time. The more that it's sliced and diced and republished and repurposed and reused on blogs and social media sites and everywhere else, the more it grows. The more value it has. Something I invested in once that produces results forever. If I write a page of content, put it on my site and optimize it, is that compounding or simple? What you think? One page of content on a website. It's compounding. Why? Because it's permanently in Google's directory. The longer it's there, the higher it ranks. The more popular it is, the more people read it and look at it and share it and comment on it, the higher it ranks. One page on a website, if done properly, can make you money forever. That's simple. Those are compounding interest impacts. Gentleman said in the other class, he was like, I do handwritten cards to my clients as a thank you. I was like, I love that. I love the gesture. And I was like, why haven't you thought of a video? And he said, because mine's personal. And I was like, okay, so if I stand up on a video and I say, hey, this is Jennifer from ABC Heating and Air Conditioning, and I wanted to personally thank you for choosing our company to take care of your heating and air conditioning needs. If you know anyone that needs help with their systems, we greatly appreciate your referrals. And oh, by the way, if you stop by our website, click on the link at the top. Take just a second to leave us a recommendation. We would really appreciate it. Is that personal? How many times do I have to do that? Just once. Compounding. There's always a smarter choice. Sometimes it's just brainstorming with somebody that can give you an idea that's like, oh, totally didn't think about that. Let's go that route. Get rid of the paper, get rid of the stamps, get rid of the envelopes, get rid of the receptionist that's having to sit there and make all those notes, and focus on one thing that I can automate literally to where you put in an email address, boom, the thank you thing goes. It goes, it goes, it goes. And it works forever. And they get to see you, they get to hear you, and we accomplish 3 things with that. 1, a thank you. 2, ask for referrals, ask for the business. 3, get the review. One activity should serve more than one purpose. Sometimes we think in these little tiny boxes, so we do things, and it only produces one result. It's only used in one place, when in reality, everything you do could be leveraged in more than one environment to produce better and bigger results. It could serve more than one purpose. Make sense? All right. You guys, this is partially skill. When I say skill, what I mean is the people you hire, the people you surround yourself with, they're not all the same. And I know it quite well because I have to hire them just like you do. As a company owner, I have to hire designers and developers and SEO engineers and project managers and local listing managers and social media managers and so forth. And they all come with this pitch. And I can tell if they're experienced or inexperienced, if they've worked in a silo, or if they actually have a broader knowledge of business. In your world, you guys have a target on your back where you get calls and sold from everything under the sun as if it's a magic pill to success, as if it's the thing that's going to make your phone ring off the hook. You guys get calls from Google? And Google will never call you. Those are lies. Those are scams. Be very careful. Google does not have an outbound call center. The bigger you get online, the more you'll start getting those emails, canned emails saying, I found all these things wrong with your website, and if you just contact us today, we'd be happy to do an evaluation, blah, blah, blah. No business phone, no business, no company, no website. Those are overseas. Those are bots. They crawl the internet, and they send them out in spam. You guys get calls from companies trying to promise you pay-per calls, right? Whether it's Yelp or Home Advisor or Angie's List, trying to get you to focus all your time and energy on their company, their site, their service. Let's put all your reviews on Angie's List. Why? Because you need a membership to see them. In order for somebody to get to Angie's List or Yelp or Home Advisor, where did they go first? Google. Why do I want them to go to a second search engine? Contractors swarm around these things because that's what they know. It's familiar. But consumers, they go to Google. Why, if they have 10 choices on the front page of Google when they do the search, why would they go into a second search engine? We have to think about these things because they sound good when they pitch it. They do. I listen to the pitches. All right, so part of it is skill. Part of it is mindset. It's changing how we think. However we think today got us where we are. The only way we can go somewhere else is we have to change how we think in order to do something different. It doesn't grow past that, right? That's got us here. So if we want to grow, we have to keep expanding, which I'm happy you're here because this is part of that. Part of it is timing. Some of these things have short windows to take advantage of. Right now, there's a huge one called schema coding, which, without getting too nerdy on you, it's when you go look at a search result online and you see the website that has the stars underneath it, It only used to be like Angie's List and Yelp that had that, and now websites you can have that on yours. And that search result, the one with the stars, the ratings right underneath their listing, is now capturing more business than any other page on that list. But that doesn't last forever, because when everybody does it, it doesn't have the same weight. So part of this is timing. Every day we wait, it takes a little bit longer to get where we want to go. So we need to be careful. So let's play. Right into the 12-step roadmap. This is designed in steps and stages. It's doing the right things in the right order at the right time. Step number 1, home base. Your home base, not somebody else's. It's your website and your brand. You need to own your website. You need a professional brand. Your email should match your website address so it doesn't scare consumers that it's at Yahoo or Hotmail or Gmail. If you're going to pick from the 3, at least pick Gmail. That's an easy thing to do. You guys are not selling an inexpensive product. That's a hefty chunk of change to the average family. So we need to step it up, okay? When they get to your site, you guys, when it comes to entrepreneurs, we're all the same. I did too. I'm not telling you anything I didn't go through. We always start with the DIY method first. When it comes to our logo, our website, and so forth. What's the DIY method? Do it yourself. And then we transition and we're like, oh, we're going to increase from DIY and let's move to one of the F's. Friends, families, fools, fast, free, felons, whatever. That's next. And then we do that a few times, always looking at the price tag on it. And we're calculating in our head how much something costs, when the reality is the cost of doing it wrong over and over and over again. 1, it's the money you pay out or the time you spend. But in addition to that, it's the missed opportunity cost. Where would your business be if you were properly ranked, if you had the proper website, if you were set up right from day 1, where would you be today? Instead of having to start over and over again. And you guys, I'm in the same boat. I look at my business. Had I done what I know now when I first started, that's 15 years ago, I would be in a different position right now. That's just math if I started earlier. When somebody lands on your website, it has to do a series of things. And what I tell you right now is going to change a year from now. If you look at my videos from presentations a year ago, I didn't have the same list. So this is based on the data today. When somebody gets to your site, they need to know who you are, what you do, where you do it, how to reach you, what other people think about you, can they leave a review? And in your industry, they also need to know, can they apply for financing, sign up for maintenance, schedule service, or request an estimate? Those are your basics. Existing customers want to schedule service. New prospects wanting a new system want to request an estimate. You can even take it further and you can say online estimate and put in a form where they think they're going to get a quote at the end. There's little tricks and small little tiny things you can change to produce a different result. I'm going to show you a couple sites because I want you to see the difference. Let's go to certified. When somebody comes to this site, this is who we are, what we do, where we do it, servicing Concord, California, and surrounding areas, how to reach you, 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 troubleshoot your issue. Last thing you want to do, and we learned the hard way, go out on a service call, change a battery in a thermostat, send them a bill, get a bad review. They don't want to pay for that. And you don't want something permanent that's negative on your report forever. That's like getting a bad credit ding. That's 7 years bad luck. I don't want negative reviews. So we built a troubleshooting system so people could figure out, is the battery, is it turned on, is the fan turned on, is the breaker flipped on? Things they can check on their own. In addition to that, where do you serve? Every single city has its own page. This will become important when we get to step 2, content. So what do other people think? Can they leave a review? Can they trust? Do you have social media networks? Are you transparent? Are you there? Are you active? These are the things they need to see right then. You guys operate 1 to 4 businesses, depending on your location. You have an air conditioning company that has a series of services, issues, and problems and equipment. You have a heating company that has the same thing, different equipment, different problems, different issues. You also have your middle ground, right? Your indoor air quality or your allergies or your air filters or whatever your central, your down seasons are. Consumers have a totally different need, but we force them to go to a page that says our services. They have a different problem. Let them go to air conditioning. Let them go to heating. Every single one of these pages is either helping you win or preventing you from it. Content is step number 2. Content is the least budgeted for, most important element of any single website. Why? Because Google's a giant filing system. It's hard to file something that doesn't exist. Okay? All of a sudden, I love light bulb moments because it's all of a sudden it's like, damn, people overcomplicate this. This makes sense. You guys seen Bruce Almighty? Remember the movie? He's standing in the warehouse and God's like, anything you've ever said, anything you've ever done is in this drawer. Drawer flies across the entire warehouse, right? Okay, when somebody goes to Google and they type in a phrase, okay, and I want you to go back to, how do people search? They do this. They go online, they do a search. I'm not saying this is what they search for, but we'll go back to what do people do? If you create a page on your website that says air conditioner, in order for you to make any money, your page, that page, needs to be in the top 10 of this number. How many pages are in this file cabinet? Yeah, that's a bad day. It's also a bad day because I have no interest in showing up next to pricing. You are not a product company. Stick to service. You have to think. I'm not saying don't sell equipment. I'm saying from a digital standpoint, consumers are not buying a 6, 10, 12, I don't even know how much they weigh, a big ton piece of equipment. They're not there yet. That's scary. Okay. I don't want to line up next to competitors that have the budget that we will never see in our lifetime. Amazon, Lowe's, Home Depot, all of these major brands that are out there marketing products. Don't stay in that space. That space is not for you. You guys are there to serve the woman who's laying in her bed and she's like, oh, every time I'm in this room, my nose is freezing. I hate this room. They're sitting on the couch and they're like, oh, I'm so cold in the living room. Every other room in the house is warm. I've got condensation in my windows. I have mold growing. My energy bills are too high. This thing shuts off all the time. It's making a weird noise. That's who you're there to help. Common problem, common person who's going to say AC repair in the city they live in. AC service, AC installation, AC replacement, AC tune-up, AC maintenance, air conditioner service, air conditioner repair, air conditioner maintenance, air conditioner replacement, air conditioner tune-up, air conditioner maintenance, heater, furnace, boiler, oil to gas conversion, whatever it is. They're going to look for something like that in the city they're in. But we build these websites and we put pages on them that look like this, our services. I'm not talking to you, Siri. She just starts talking. How many pages in that drawer? So I want you to do this, okay? Stand in your kitchen and open up your junk drawer. And then look at your website on your phone. And look at each page on your site. If it says home, about, our services, our products, FAQ, commercial, residential, air, cooling. No one looks for cooling. That's what it does. Okay? If it says those, just stare at the junk drawer because that's where the page goes. That make sense? I'm just giving a visual because we've all done it. All right. Now, if somebody is looking for AC repair, give me a city. I can spell. If somebody is looking for AC repair in San Antonio, is that a better number than what we saw before? There's 2.5 million pages in that drawer. Give me a city outside of San Antonio. Actually, you know what? Let's stay here. Instead of AC, let's go air conditioner. 3.4. Let's go service. 1.5 million. I'm getting closer. That's right here. That's the number of pages in that drawer, that file drawer, okay? Your money is sitting in the top 10 of that number. Not ads, because remember you guys said you didn't click there, and so does everyone else in every other class. If you happen to have a business on local listings and your Google business listing is rocking and rolling, best reviews, most updated, and you get to be one of the 3 featured, boom, that's your moneymaker. Otherwise, you're inorganic. Ah, that's my client. That's funny. Okay, so give me a city right outside of San Antonio or a suburb or town within San Antonio. Spell it. Converse. 3.5. Repair. Boom. Okay, so this is math. And this is the cool stuff. This is what I get excited. And you get excited when you start seeing the math, right? There's 595,000 pages in that drawer. For us, and I don't know about other agencies, but for us, on a new project, first time client with us, they've been with us, this is year 1. It takes us 30 days per 100,000 results in order to climb. We can climb 100,000 results every 30 days. So if I'm going after air conditioner repair in Converse, Texas, when do I need to start working on that? What month? When does it get hot? April. Back date 6 months. By November, I should be working on this. Okay? The math is easy. And I'm always talking to people in there. I'm like, oh, you're paying for SEO. What phrases are in your plan? I don't know. What are your key? What services are you trying to market? I don't know. You guys, 1 service, 1 location, 1 page. Get that singular thing. If you are on page 1 of Google for air conditioner repair in Converse, Texas, if you're on page 1 out of 594, you're making money. You're making money. As long as the next steps are taken care of on this sheet. Okay? Remember, how do people search? They go to Google, they do a search, they look in the first 10 organic results. Then they go look at your website. They're either in or out. Then they look at your reviews. They're either in or out. So, step 1, website. Step 2, content. That gives you the ability to play the SEO game and to be an option where people look every day. Right? Is the math making sense? Okay. Those are days. In the middle of summer, you need to be working on your heating phrases. In the middle of winter, you need to be working on your air conditioning pages. So by the time the season comes, you're prepped and ready. Don't wait till the last minute or you're already in another season. You can write that season off as far as your phone ringing from people going to Google, doing a search, and you being an option. The cool part is once this math starts registering and you're like, in the beginning, every time we were working with someone, it's always about how much does it cost, what's the budget? But once they've been with us for a couple years, they don't think that way anymore. They call and they go, all right, what's next? I want to sell something new in a new city. Let's create a page of content. Let's optimize it, get it to the front, because they know their phone will start ringing the second it gets there, and they're willing to spend $30 or $60 on a monthly basis to be able to do that for X number of months, because they knew going into it that's how long it was going to take. If you spend $30 a month working on this for 6 months, is it worth it? Your first phone call paid for 5 years. First installation, right? Average installation, $4,000, we'll say. Conservative, is that fair? 35, 40% margin, is that fair? 1 installation pays for everything. That's the math. That's where we need to get to. Okay. Are you guys with me? Am I scaring you? We're good? Okay. I get excited because I love this stuff. Can you tell? All right. What do you want to sell? Where do you want to sell it? This spreadsheet is ridiculous, the one that we track nationally. the number of phrases and searches and terms that consumers use. If you're in the middle of Houston, that might be hard to get into right out of the gate. I need you making money. I'm not going after Houston. Part of this is bootstrapping. I'd rather have you have 30% of the phone calls for a smaller area and be making money than have you have 0 phone calls in a big populated area with 6 million competitive pages. So we're always going to go for, as an entrepreneur, bootstrap. What's the quickest way to cash? Just do that, then add something else. Just do that, then add something else. It's not all done at once. You're never done. It's never over. Identify something that can convert to cash, make it happen, reinvest, do it again. Reinvest, do it again. You will see year-over-year success. We have to do the same thing by city, because in the beginning, it's going to be easier for you to get ranked in the city you have a physical address in. That's pretty simple. That's not difficult. The math is easier. But you also want to do business outside of that city, which means you got to have content on your website for every single city you want to be able to tackle, because you need to get into that drawer, right? Easiest way to cheat and get it done. We put an app on your technicians and your guys' phones. Every time they go on a job, they check in and they say, installing a new air conditioner. The younger and more excitables take a selfie with it. And they upload it. We get a notice they're in a new city installing an air conditioner. Boom, it's pinned to Google's map saying this company did air conditioning installation in this city. We have a new piece of content. We go create a new page. When they get done with the job, we teach them, don't come home without the review. Don't come home, which means back to the office, without the recommendation. As soon as they get done, they go through their normal process. They show them what they did. They show them how to program the thermostat on the wall. And then they say, are you happy with everything I've done? Consumer says no. Boom, that's a different training. I'm pissed, right? Totally different course. They say yes. While you're there, you say, would you mind if I sent you a quick text message? The lady in my office is crazy. I'm not allowed to come back without a recommendation. You're right there. They're not going to say no. You're staring at them. They're like, oh, okay, 1 second. Let me grab my phone. It's probably within 4 inches from them. They open up the text message. You're right there. In case they have questions, they click star, 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 and then you say, that's where you write the recommendation. You don't say that's where you leave a review. You get what you ask for. That's where you leave the recommendation, the love note, whatever you want to say. You want to encourage, you want to create the thought, the intention of it being positive. Get the review, boom, we get a notice. Again, we add that content to the page. Now you have a page with new and fresh content with reviews being added every single time. You check in, you get a review, boom, you have another page of content. Now you're taking one activity, which you need to do already, which is get the review, and letting it serve more than one purpose. Get the review, it'll create a new page, then it's going to get that page moved up on Google so I get a new phone call in a new area for a different service. Make sense? Yes? It's actually easy. Literally, you're check-in, doing something, send a text, boom, and everything else happens in the background magically. So don't get overwhelmed with it, because it's not hard. That's just the process. It's a heck of a lot less expensive to do that than it is to have a content writer write 300 city pages. Okay? I won't stay on this a lot, but this is one of the things. Step number 3 is your CRM system. CRM is contact relationship management. That's the term. Really what it means is, on your website, everywhere there is a call to action, a button, a form, I want it to go into a database, not your email. Because what happens is when you guys get those contact us forms, they go to somebody's email. The only way they actually get into a database, which in most of your worlds is called QuickBooks, is if you do business with them. And every other lead and opportunity goes in Never Never Land. Just sits there. 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 1 year now, when we're talking about step number 9 on this, when we get to that stage, we're going to be, okay, it's time. We need to pause for a second on new client acquisition, and we need to think for just a minute, how are we going to leverage the database you have? How do we use email and text marketing in order to be able to reach all these contacts that have been working with you over or have asked for a quote or asked for something over the last X number of years? If that data is not in a siftable, sortable, exportable format, you're going to kick yourself and be like, oh, I should have started this back then. So just because you're not doing step 9 now doesn't mean we need to be aware that we're going to need to in the future. We need to plan for it, have the system in place. So any form that's on the site takes the data, puts it in there. So later when we talk about it, it's like, turn it on, let's roll. It's Friday, I got 5 trucks in the driveway. My schedule's not booked, it's in the middle of spring. Let's send out a text message to our entire database, let them know we're doing a tune-up special. If they book within the next 8 hours for next week, they get it for blank. Takes 2 seconds to send the text, boom, hit send, went to the whole database. Your schedule's booked for next week in the middle of spring. You need that flexibility. You need to be able to do that, okay? All right, next. Step number 4, local business listings. The woman who oversees this department is at the table. She's kind of feisty. She's the only one in our company. She's younger. I call her, we have a team called Next Gen, which is basically all of our kids and younger. And she's the only one in the company that can pick up the phone and call Google and make things happen. I don't know who to call. She has people. So this process is not easy when you're trying to help people reclaim their listing. Here's the deal. There are 70 local listings accounts, including Google and Bing and Yahoo and Yelp and City Search and MapQuest and Yahoo and White Pages and Yellow Pages and all of these, right? Here's why these are important. Number 1, Google uses these for verification of your business. Without getting too complex, all the mismatches cause problem. If your domain, which is your www.blank, is registered and in someone else's name, that's a problem. If your information isn't properly on the footer of your website in the container Google wants to see it, that's a problem. If these local listings don't have the exact same name, exact same phone number, exact same website and everything, we have all these mismatches, so you're not verified. Same thing with social media sites. So, 1, that's just got to get done. This is like telling your kids to clean your room. It's not debatable. You need to do that. If you don't claim these listings, anybody can. So part of what Kim and her team do is duplicate suppressions, which means they monitor the listings for our clients. And when you have a competitor that steals your listings, uses your company name, your address, and their phone number and happily answers your calls, we know about it and we kick them out. Right now, you guys that fill out that dealer form, one of the things they're going to do is a local listing search for you, and they'll tell you all the inaccuracies on there. I guarantee you in the room, no one is more than 40% accurate. There's errors everywhere. We don't want those errors. So, very important. Each one of these listings, if they are updated on a regular basis with new content, they grow in strength. They move up higher and higher, and they take over more real estate inside that drawer. Remember the drawer. Everyone, when they start, you'll see how they come in. They come in and they're just, every business looks like that. Thank you. They're just dead to the water. So we build and build and build, and we keep publishing and posting and adding content to them, to all the listings at the same time, and they grow. And then all of a sudden, our client's like, okay, totally getting calls, new calls. These are weird. They said they found us on Google, but not our website. What was that? It was like interesting things. Clicks, calls, and views, it grows and grows and grows year over year. These local listings are, they hold a weight of their own. They bring in new business, phone calls, regardless of a website. All you need is a local address. That's a simple one. Step number 6, social media. You guys, social media is not a top priority right now. I promise you, there's very few of you in this room where I will, after I look at your reports, your analysis, where I would say social media is a huge priority. You need to put a lot of money into it. In reality, for most contractors, I need it to stay alive. I need it to not be a deterrent. I need to make sure that there is a professional look, there is some content being posted on the monthly basis, but this is not a big money maker for you right out of the gate. It can be later, which is why there's different stages. Right now, simple, couple hours a month, content, graphics, make it funny, make it entertaining, and let it be there so when somebody does find you on Google, they don't leave because they think you're closed. That's the simple version. Later, you can come back to it and put more energy into it, but it's not as easy to generate business on social media as it is on search, and you find search first. So that should come back and be a priority, just not right now. We already talked about reviews, how to get those, the mobile app. We need those. That needs to be a standard operating process. Now, we have effectively covered everything on page 1. Step 1 through 6. To me, in my world, this is infrastructure. These are the basics. This is what every business needs to have in place. When you have these things, let's play ball. Then it's exciting, because now we get to go after dollars and cents. We get to go after where's the audience of consumers that want me to help them find me and be an option. When we get on to page 7, here's the thing. For search engine optimization, if you do any of these things out of order, here's what happens. The gentleman I talked to earlier, he said, I paid $2,500 a month for SEO. And he was like, I don't rank for anything. I took one glance at his website. His code is like 8 years old. Website's built in tables. Google can't crawl his site. But that SEO agency happily took his $2,500, and that site can't be optimized. I've seen people paying for SEO. They don't have any content. There's nothing to file. I've seen people paying for search engine optimization, trying to get on page 1 of Google, and they have negative or no reviews. So you're on page 1 of Google for 80 search terms, services you want to sell, and cities you want to sell them, but your phone's not ringing because when they go look at your reviews, they're out. They have to be done in the right order. Have to be. It's so important. For searches, it's simple. You're not going to do everything in these stages. Start off with simple. So right now, I think based on location, all of you, winter now. You're at the last few months, the last really 60 days to prep for winter results, because we're getting real close to that. Once you're in fall, we're tight. By the time we hit December, we should be focused on creating content based on your air conditioning services, AC repair, AC service, AC installation, replacement, inspection, maintenance, tune-up, and so forth. And having them rank on page 1 of Google before April. Your guys' seasons, everybody start warming up April, pretty much. So Florida's a weird one, right? Because they don't have a winter. It's like hot and something. Like air conditioning and a little of something else. Not everything's equal. You see the stars at the top? That's what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about competitive advantage. These are our 3 clients. They show up on page 1. One of them has the review system in his hand, and they're going gangbusters, getting reviews. All 3 of them are on page 1 of Google for the same search, but guess which one consumers are going to click on? They're clicking on the one with the stars. So sometimes you can do the right thing. You get to page 1, position 1 of Google, but the site's not coded to showcase your stars, so you still lose business. Little tiny things. This one was interesting. We gave a group we do consumer focus groups, gave them a group of listings, and we said, which one would you pick? It's a little blurry from here, right? But they all chattered and talked and so forth, and then they all came with this presentation, each round table, and they said, we choose number 7. Everybody's going to choose number 7. That's the one that's getting the click, and they were arguing about it, and proving their case. You know what they missed? Every single one of those listings, 1 through 8, is the same company. It's Air Care Systems, our client. They've been with us for 12 years. Ann and Joey Powers. They're all the same. We just own page 1, position 1 through 8 for that particular search. Ductless Systems, Titusville, Florida. They didn't even notice. Funny little things you can catch. So again, it goes back to simple interest versus compound interest. Every single one of these decisions, I'm so proud of these guys, because they came to a show that I did a year ago, almost a year and a half. We started with the website. They called in and said, what's next? I was like, you need more content. I see on your form you sell all these services, but you've only got 8 pages of content. We did it. They called in, what's next? Let's get your local listings. Let's get your Google business listing. Started with that. They started generating reviews and building their reviews up on their Google business listing. We took care of their local listings. Then we started doing optimization. Then they started video. And now they're producing video and optimizing video to where when you do a search in different areas for different services, they have their website shows up, then their video shows up, then their local listings show up, then their Facebook shows up. They own the market. Asset after asset after asset after asset. They're just increasing the percentage, the odds of getting the business, being the option. Here's where everybody wants to start, because we're looking for the drive-through version, the green pill. Give me something now, fast. And while we do this, burning and turning through cash, next year you're going to be in the same boat. The year after that, you're going to be in the same boat. Your math is going to look the same in your books as it does in your spend. It's not going to grow because this is an exchange. Just tell me what rate. I give Google $3,000, please pray I get $3,500 back. Right? We have to be careful. Your profit margins are different if you are on with Home Depot or Home Advisor. I said Home Depot. Home Advisor, and you're paying $80 per call on a service call, $300 ticket with a 65% margin. You're done if you don't close one of those deals. That's backwards. The math is backwards. One page on page one of Google from an organic ranking can generate unlimited amounts of leads. And it costs you nothing other than to maintain that page ranking, which is a backlinking program. It's not expensive for that page. And you're not paying per lead, so your odds are much better. Your options are better, your margins are better. We do pay-per-click, but there's a purpose. It's because we're trying to target a really hard area, and I want you to make money in that area until we get your rankings up. It's a temporary promotion we need to do with a start date and an end date, and that's it. Or it's because we're doing it just to get cash flow in the door temporarily while we're working on SEO. The sole purpose is to get rid of it. I don't want you to have to do that, ever. I'm not a fan of it as a business owner if you can avoid it. Step 9, step 12, we have to pause our businesses at some point. We have to put something in place that's going to help us reconcentrate on those existing customers. Those are huge assets. Should be your number one source of new business. And it seems like it's always one or the other. Either somebody buys a company and all they do is work the drawer and they forget about new client acquisition. And then when they're done working the drawer and replacing all those systems, boom, the business tanks. Or they focus only on new client acquisition and lose out on a huge opportunity with all the customers. So we want to be able to take advantage of both. This has to get down to math. What's your net profit on one installation? Okay, and then it has to be, how do I get the installation? How do I get one a month? How do I get one a quarter to start off with? And then keep adding that. Does it start with service? Does it start with repair? Does it convert into that? Do you have a maintenance program where you have residual income? Can you keep building that way so that funds your marketing program? We need to get to math. So the goal is to get to checkmate, where year over year over year, the only thing you do is say, I've doubled my business has grown by 50% every single year, because you have a stackable philosophy in your marketing. I hope this helps, and you're not freaking out right now. Don't freak out, because it's not expensive and it's not hard to do. It's just different. With these dealer forms, hey, if you fill these out, try and write really, really clear. We have a group of analysts, they're nerds. They're going to go do a total digital evaluation for you. They're going to check everything. Knowledge is power. Fill it out, submit it in. You'll get it on email, okay? When you get it, it's all math and compliance, so there's no personal interpretations. They're not looking at your design saying if it's pretty or not. It's just math. That will be fun. You never have to talk to them, by the way, because that'll hurt your head. You'll have somebody that speaks human that will follow up with you and ask if you need help, have any questions, or if you want to have us help you create a plan. Okay, in order to create a plan, we need to know where you are, where you want to go, the size of your company. You need to come up with a comfortable budget they can work into. They can work backwards into. If it's $300 a month, so be it. If it's $100 a month, so be it. If it's $30,000 a month, I have that and everything in between. You need everything on the list, but you can't do everything right now. One thing at a time, make it work, then keep adding. Make sense? So I hope this is helpful, you guys. I really appreciate you taking time. I hope you have awesome flights out. Have a cocktail for me. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And those forms, you can bring them to me or Scott or Kathy, either one.